Parsha Kisovoi, something very nice from Rabbi Levi Yitzchok, the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Zatzal. Well, this week's Parsha, we have the bulk of the Parsha, the curses, the klolos. And one of them, it says that the Eibishter, through the Goyim, who will destroy the Beis Hamikdash and send the Yidden and Golos, our corpses will be scattered around for the birds of the sky to eat and for the beasts of the earth. There is a Zoyar in Chele Gimel, Parshas Emor, that Peites Amar Aleph, and the Zoyar says that the Hashem in the future will punish those Goyim measure for what they did to the Yidden. And the nations who destroyed the Beis Hamikdash and burnt the Beis Hamikdash and sent the Yidden and Golos, their corpses will be scattered all over the mountains. And it says these words: the birds from the sky, from the heaven, will eat their flesh for 7 years, and the beasts of the earth will eat their flesh and their bones for 12 months. Comes Rabbi Levi Yitzchok and explains every number in Torah was written in Zoya is exact. Why, when it comes to the birds, does the Zoya use the number 7 and years? Everything has a reason. And when it comes to the beasts of the earth, he uses the number 12 and months. First, explains Rabbi Levi Yitzchok the number 7 and 12. And he says, like we said before, this is measure for measure. They started up with the Yidden. The foundation of the Jewish nation comes from the number 7. We have 3 Avos, 3 patriarchs, Avraham, Yitzchok, and Yaakov, 4 mothers, matriarchs, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, together with 7. So the foundation, the heaven, so to say, of the Jewish nation, the leaders, were number 7. And that corresponds to the birds, the heavenly spheres. Then they brought into the world what? The Jewish people, the 12 nations. And that's why down here, the beasts of the earth will have the number 12 in them, corresponding to the 12 Shvatim. So 7 are the founders, matriarchs and patriarchs, and the receivers, or the 12 Shvatim. Now goes Rabbi Levi Yitzchok a step further and explains why by the birds it's years and by the beasts it's months. We know that in our time cycle that we have of the year, the Jewish calendar, so we're on Earth, we live, but there are 2 planets who give us the time zones, the cycle of the year. The sun is a yearly cycle. There's no months to the sun. The solar cycle only has a year around that travels around the world. The moon, however, is a monthly cycle. There are approximately 12 months in the year. Now we find in Chumash that Yaakov, who was the father from the 12 Shvatim. So from all the 7 matriarchs and patriarchs, the main one of the Shvatim was Yaakov. He brought the 12 Shvatim into the world, the father of them. We find in Chumash in Parshas Vayeshev, V'hinei hashemesh v'yareach, v'achad oso kechol meshtachavim li. Yosef said in his dream, I see the sun and the moon are bowing down to me. The sun is referring to Yaakov. So we see that Yaakov is compared to the sun. The sun gives the world energy, and it gives light. The moon, the receiver, the 12 Shvatim, and that's why the 12 Shvatim are corresponding to the 12 months, as we know. It speaks in Kabbalah and Chassidus that the 12 Shvatim correspond each month to another Shevet. So we see the number 12 again with the Shvatim and also with time. So we have the yearly cycle, solar cycle, then we have the lunar cycle, which is 12. Now, says Rabbi Levi Yitzchok, so beautiful. Yaakov is compared to the sun, and he goes on the spheres of the sky of the heaven. And that's why when it comes to the birds who are in the sky, the Zoya says the number 7. 7 years corresponding to the cycle of the sun. And also Kabbalistically, we spoke many times, Yaakov also has the number 7. Besides the fact we said before about the matriarchs and patriarchs, Yaakov himself is known, he is the midos, he's the attributes of a person that influences us in the positive way in Kedusha, and he is brought down the sikhs from the Rebbe in many places. Yaakov adds up to 7 times the name of Havaya. Havaya, Yudke Vovke, name of Hashem is 26. 26 times 7, 182. Same numerical value as Yaakov, Yud, Ayin, Kuf, Beis, 182. 7 times. His job is to influence. He, like the sun, he brings light and energy to the Jewish people, to the 12 tribes. So that's when it comes to the sky, the birds, the founders, the heavenly powers, the Zohar uses the number 7 for the matriarchs and patriarchs, and also about Yaakov, and years for the son. When it comes to the beasts of the earth, in other words, we're like the receivers. That's the other part of the time cycle, and that's the receivers, the moon, which is 12 months, 12 shvatim, and that's why the Zohar says it will also be the number 12 for the shvatim, months corresponding how it comes down into this world, and together, just like we have the time together, we have the people together, the nation up together. Yaakov, who established the 12 nations, and that's why you see the words from the Zohar is so exact. When it comes to the birds of heaven, he uses the number 7 and years. When it comes to the beasts of the earth, he uses number 12 for the shvatim, and months corresponding to how the shvatim, how we receive the light from the sun. You saw everything in Torah so beautiful, how the 12 shvatim received from Yaakov.